Hello friends, it's Marla from Twinstrology. Welcome back. Thank you for sharing this time with me today. We are going to be doing the monthly twin flame reading. This is the reading for February 2025. And the information that we're going to talk about today is also very pertinent to light workers, even if they aren't on the twin flame journey. So if you are either of those things, welcome here. Welcome to any new subscribers. I'm just clearing the energy to prepare us for the reading and setting the intention that everybody watching gets a message, always keeping in mind that I am reading for a lot of people and take what resonates. Before I get into the reading, I'm just going to share what decks I'm using. Today I'm going to be using the Isis Oracle primarily. I haven't used this deck in a while, and I really don't use it that much for doing readings. I usually just use it for one card pulls because it is a very in-depth oracle. But I felt very drawn to it today. And then I'm also using my deck, which is the Intuit Twin Flame Oracle. And I will put the link to this below if you like this deck. This is Messages from the Beloved. I'll also put a coupon code below. But yeah, even though it's Messages from the Beloved, there's a lot of ways to read these cards. And as far as I know, these are the most in-depth twin flame cards that I've ever seen. But that's just me. I did create it, so I might be biased. Okay, so let's get into the reading. We're going to start with this top row. Those of you who are regularly joining me, you know that this is all about the union energies. Then we're going to talk about the feminine energy, the masculine energy, and future guidance for us. So we're going to start with the overall energy of unions. Scales of balance, ancient tantra of the soul. Okay, so really beautiful card. And I am going to read like the brief introduction to these cards. I'm not going to read the whole thing because it's several pages long, but this will give us a greater insight. You are a tantrika, an initiate on the path of divine healing of the masculine and feminine, the two sacred polarities that are universal to human experiences. As these energies come into mutual respect and balance, you attain great power, presence, and healing effect in the world of the soul and in the human world of forms here on earth. You are supported in further exploring this path now under the auspices and blessings of beloved Isis. Some people mistakenly believe that Tantra is simply about sexuality, but in truth it is the journey of the soul to bring masculine and feminine polarities into wholeness, love, unity, and empowerment. To learn to be the enlightened path in every element of your being. This is soul-building work that is in great service to the spiritual healing and evolution of humanity. Okay, so what do we know? First thing that we know about the union energies is we're trying to balance the masculine and feminine within ourselves. 100%, this is extremely strong right now. A lot of this energy is being driven by the retrogrades of Mars and Venus. Mars is retrograde right now and will continue to be retrograde for most of February before towards the end of the month it's going to station to go direct. And then on March 1st, Venus goes retrograde in Aries and going back into Pisces. So these two planetary shifts are driving us to reach the inner balance of our masculine and feminine. And when we do that, we reach an inner state of union. This means that we're more balanced in our personality. We have to clear a lot of shadow elements in order to bring the masculine and feminine into polarity. We have to clear the distorted feminine and the distorted masculine within ourselves in order to be able to do this. So it's been quite a process. And the fact that we're coming up on some major milestone around the balance of the masculine and feminine is huge. So this is bringing in a major shift for twin flames. And this has to do with a collective masculine clearing that is causing our inner masculine to awaken more. Now, as I just said, Mars is the planet that's in retrograde right now. So a lot of the focus has been on the masculine energy. As I always remind my viewers, when we're doing a reading for twins, we have to look at the energy both externally, as you and your twin, one is the feminine, one is the masculine polarity, but also that is reflected in your internal energy, and how your masculine and feminine are balanced within you is reflective of what is going on with you and your twin externally. So we have to read this both ways. So when I say our masculine energy is in a clearing that is causing the masculine to awaken more, we know that this is affecting the external masculine polarity in your union. So if you're the feminine, this is affecting your person. If you're the masculine energy in your union, then this is affecting you, and you're going through a deep transformation. But also inside all of us, our masculine energy is clearing a lot of blocks. And this is enabling our inner masculine to, I want to say awaken, yes, but it's creating a sense of inner harmony so that our inner masculine and feminine can work together. Because what's been the problem is, let's say you're in the feminine polarity in your union, then you may have a masculine energy that is at odds with your feminine energy, and that can create blocks. If you're in the masculine energy in your union, then your feminine energy is not well integrated, and you're acting more from your masculine, and that is creating blocks. So what is trying to shift here is we have an inner masculine and feminine that is working together. So if you're the feminine, your inner masculine is trying to reach a place where it can be supportive of the feminine, so that the inner feminine feels protected to express itself creatively, while at the same time not being so protective of the self that it creates barriers and blocks, or a masculine maybe that feels inferior and is afraid to express itself because it might be afraid of criticism or judgment, and therefore it's silencing the inner feminine. What's happening now is that your masculine is feeling more comfortable and confident with letting the feminine lead, which would mean leading from the heart instead of the mind. The masculine energy is going through this phase where they are trying to integrate more of their feminine. So their feminine energy is their heart and their intuition. And the masculine has been getting a lot of messages from spirit about their next steps, what their path is, who their twin flame is, what they need to understand about their own twin flame journey, where before they might not have been open to that information because they weren't comfortable with their inner feminine. So that is how the masculine is awakening in all of us. Now, I've always said, internal union is going to come before external union, because when you're not balanced within yourself, then your relationships aren't balanced, because you're going to be when you're not balanced within yourself, you're still acting from shadow elements that you may not be consciously aware of that are somehow sabotaging you at times. This will affect the relationship with your twin. And I think that this balance of the masculine and feminine is going to create a lot of shifts for twin flames over the next year and a half. I'll be speaking more about that. But yeah, right now the focus is on embracing this within, and it will affect all your relationships because this is changing you and transforming yourself on a deep level. What's positive for twins is abundance of Sotis, stellar blessings of the celestial goddess of abundance. Yeah, so how long have we been talking about opening the door to manifestation and manifesting your dreams, having your desires manifested? This is coming. This wants to come in. We need to be in this state of balance with our own inner masculine and feminine. That's going to activate these deeper levels of abundance. And also, there's things that we need to clear in order to allow the abundance in, which we're going to talk about when we get to the challenges. So this transformation of the masculine and feminine is going to put us into harmony with God, with source energy, whatever name you use for it. Because what's happening through this is a deep surrender. And part of this shift within the masculine and feminine is the total surrender, which is the feminine energy. I'm not going to go so far as to say that the masculine is surrendering to the feminine, because the masculine and feminine need to work in balance with each other. But when they do work in balance, that is when this level of surrender is able to occur. Because again, we have a masculine energy that is strong, but not overpowering and not on guard so much. And we have a feminine energy that is trusting God. And together they accept and surrender to that spiritual journey, that spiritual destiny, which is theirs. And when you try to control that destiny, you just block it. So again, you see how the harmony of the masculine and feminine within is causing both twins to surrender to this divine path. So what is going to challenge us on this path? Okay, we have Chariot of Ascension, spiritual work of the higher initiate. Okay, so with this card, there's a merging of the soul and the body. Okay, that is what ascension is. Ascension is really the process of descension, or the process of the soul moving down so that it can inhabit more and more of the physical body. And this happens in stages. So what we know from this card is that this is happening right now. There has been a lot of influx of light. There was a shift that happened in the fall where we decided as the collective humanity that we were going to move forward on a new timeline. And since then, we've been doing so much clearing in order to embody what we need to be aligned with that new timeline. Part of that is embodiment of the soul in the body. When this happens, you can expect an increase in your spiritual abilities to happen. And that is where a lot of our growth is right now. But in order for that growth to occur, we have to purge out the blocks that were limiting us. With this Merkaba energy, which maybe I didn't say, like this chariot of ascension, for those of you that haven't seen this symbol before, this is the Merkaba, the Merkaba, and that is like, it's called the chariot of ascension because this Merkaba allows us to travel multidimensionally without doing damage to our body or our energy body. One of the things that this means is that our consciousness will expand because this energy, obviously merging with your soul energy, means that there's more wisdom available to you and that you can travel multidimensionally easier. So a lot of times we talk about the different dimensions and we make it sound as if they are, or as if we exist within one dimension, when the truth is we are able to constantly shift between a multitude of dimensions at will. So when you're meditating, you might be in the fourth, fifth, sixth dimensional frequency. When you're focused on doing something here on the earth plane, then you're focused in the 3D reality. So it's about your ability to understand your reality and what frequency you're in will tell you where you are dimensionally. What you want to look at, because remember, this is what is challenging us. What you want to look at is your perception of the world. And through your perceptual lens, do you see the world has more in separation from each other, or do you see the world has more in unity with each other? Well, maybe I didn't word that right, because of course, if you look at the world outside of yourself, you're going to see a lot of separation. It's kind of crazy and ugly out there right now. If you look at things through a third dimensional lens. But I guess what I would say to word that better is if you can only see separation and you can only see the division and you are only angry at what's going on, then you're in a lower dimensional frequency. If you can look at things with a perspective of we're all one, and this is all leading us into unity and oneness, this is all leading us into balance, then you're in a higher frequency. And like I said, we often shift between this. And it's not like obviously there are people that exist in a 3D frequency and that's all they can, but probably not many of those people watching this video. Most of you have been on the journey for quite a while. But yeah, you have to pay attention to what is your perspective. What is your perspective of your twin journey? Do you spend a lot of time angry and mad that you have to be on this journey? That's showing you that your perspective about things may not be the highest perspective available to you, and you might need to get in your Merkaba and raise yourself to a higher perspective to understand that there's no separation and you're always working together. This is also leading us to greater steps towards service. And service is very much Service is very much aligned with abundance. So the way that we get abundance is by being of service. And you can see that this card also has the Merkaba on it, which is a reflection of how this works together. The second card here for our challenge is the Key of Life card, spinning the Ankh, the Key of Life. Okay, so what this card is saying is that there's new energy coming in, right? This new energy of abundance. And this is allowing you to create something new. It's almost as if you're giving birth to something, because this is like some kind of creative endeavor. It could be a project. It could be taking some kind of new step in your life. You're getting a new house, a new job. You're moving someplace completely new. It could even be a child coming into your life. At the same time, there's likely to be something around that feels deeply confronting to you during this period of time. So what you're needing to do is release old ways of being so that you can move more into the abundance energy, so that you're more aligned with your soul energy. For a lot of you, you're not going to be able to see right now where you're going or where everything is leading you, and that might be a little bit scary, or you might feel unsure about that. But this is why the masculine and feminine need to surrender right now, because you have to maintain trust and faith. And when you maintain your trust and faith, then you know that you are in this higher vibrational energy that is more aligned with your soul. So all kinds of beliefs, patterns, restrictions are needing to be shed right now. And I would say like the walls are coming down. This is the release of the masculine surrender. I would word has the walls are coming down. And I channeled a message from Mary Magdalene around this time last year about the emergence of true sacred union, which Mary was telling us that sacred union is coming. And it was an explanation of how to prepare. And in that video, she talked a lot about the walls coming down and how we have walls up against each other, against our twin, but also against other people around us. And that we need to free ourselves from that if we want true sacred union. So that might be something that you want to go back and re-listen to. But if you take away anything from this video, I want it to be trust and faith. Make that your mantra for February. Okay, I'm going to read our song message for the energy of union. And just a reminder, these are just my own cards that I make. But just a reminder, these are all the cards. I have about 300 songs on here. So when these songs come up, just know that they're quite random. So the overall energy is Talk to Me by Stevie Nicks. I can see we're thinking about the same things, and I can see your expression when the phone rings. We both know there's something happening here. Well, there's no sense in dancing around the subject. A wound gets worse when it's treated with neglect. Don't turn around. There's nothing here to fear. Though we lay face to face and cheek to cheek, our voices stray from the common ground where they could meet. The walls run high to veil a swelling tear. Oh, let the walls burn down. Set your secrets free. You can break their bounds because you're safe with me. You can lose your doubt because you'll find no danger here. You can talk to me. You can set your secrets free, baby. Okay, so there's a lot in there, right? This song talks about the walls, letting the walls down. And it's almost like we could read this song as the feminine energy talking to the masculine and saying, you don't have to worry. You're safe here. You don't have to have your guard up with me. And that might be something to think about within your union, because how your energy, not just your interaction with your twin, but where your vibration is with your twin is going to either, push them away, or it's going to draw them in. So if you want your masculine to feel safe, you have to create the safe space for them. But if you're angry, if you're frustrated, if you're feeling hatred towards them, if you can't get over something that happened in the past, if you can't forgive them, then that's not creating the safe space for them. And I know a lot of you are going to say, well, they're not creating a safe space for me. Well, if you're the feminine, then your job is to be unconditional love. That's not the masculine's job right now. That's the feminine's job. So remember, I was just saying the feminine has to lead. Okay, you have to let your own feminine lead and let yourself go into that unconditional love. So we're going to actually go into the details of the feminine and masculine in a minute. But before I do, I want to just share a quick message from Otter Spirit, who I have partnered with. And I've talked about them before, but I have these new bracelets from them that I want to share with you. So besides selling single bracelets, Otter Spirit also sells, they call them packs. They come in packs of 3. This one is the Love Pack, which I thought would be perfect for February because we have Valentine's Day coming up, and maybe you want to buy a gift for someone, or maybe if you're by yourself and you're single, maybe you want to buy a gift for yourself. So consider this. There's 3 different crystal bracelets here. We have pink quartz, or I'm sorry, rose quartz, rhodonite, and I always forget the third one, red jasper. So I really like the colors in this one, and that was another reason why I picked this bracelet. Again, Otter Spirit has these amazing boxes, and inside the box, they have a little envelope to keep your bracelets. The people over at Otter Spirit are super nice. It's a small family-owned business, so that's another reason to support them. They're not a big corporation. Let me just show you the size difference. One of the things I've talked about that I love about Otter Spirit is their bracelets come in different sizes. And I can never find bracelets that fit me when I just go into a crystal shop and try on their bracelets. This is the size medium. You can see this one has some movement on my wrist. This series is small. And with the small, there's no movement. This is how I prefer them. So I did measure my wrist before I ordered these, and it was suggested that I get the medium. And the medium is fine. It's not overly loose, but just personally, I prefer the small. I'm sharing this with you so you can have some guidance if you want to go to their website and have a look and kind of understand the sizing and which you prefer. You know, technically bracelets are supposed to move around a little bit, but I just get annoyed if they're too floppy. They also come with these cards that talk about each crystal. The rose quartz is for I am loved for who I am. Rhodonite, I am kind and compassionate to myself and others. And red jasper, I am brave and won't give up. It also talks about the intention, the zodiac sign, and the chakras. I was expecting, since this was a love pack and they came 3 bracelets together, that it would come in one box, but they actually each came separately in their own box. So also if you were thinking about getting a gift for someone or some people, this is something to consider because you could give some away. And they each have their own separate box, so you don't have to worry about not having a box. So I'm going to put the link to Otter Spirit below. If you use my link, I do get a small commission on anything that's ordered. And also, if you use the code MARLA20, you can get a 20% discount. And now back to the reading and the Divine Feminine. Okay, so the overall energy for the Divine Feminine is Lady of the Stars, Priestess of Sirius. So what we know from this card is that in February, there is going to continue to be an influx of light. In fact, I suspect that the light that's coming in is going to get even stronger than it has been. So there's going to be activations, and these activations are meant to align you with unconditional love. This is energy that's going to open your heart, and this is allowing, especially the feminine within all of us, to go through this deep transformation. This is necessary to put the feminine into the position where she can lead. And one of the things that needs to come with that leadership is humility. You may be working on releasing pride, releasing feelings of superiority. Sometimes this even comes with feelings of inferiority. It's like we have to come into balance with who we are as light workers, but we're doing that in a way that is not prideful, but is based in humility. Because remember, the feminine leads through the heart, but the true leader is God. And so humility helps us to follow our inner guidance, to follow what God wants for us rather than what our ego wants for us. There's a deep acceptance of ourselves happening as well. There's a lot of ancestral clearing going on. Some of you might be doing inner child work right now because that's part of this deep acceptance of self that's happening with this alignment. So the focus of the feminine is, I'm trying to figure out this connection. I've never experienced anything like it before. Well, it's not really the twin flame connection that you're trying to figure out so much as like your connection to God and the next level of your journey. For most of you, some of you, if you've just met your twin, then you will be focused on trying to figure out your twin connection. But yeah, for a lot of you, your spiritual abilities are deepening and you're trying to figure it all out and you're trying to find your place with it and what you are going to do with that. Don't be tempted to disconnect from source. Our connection to source is the love and healing we require for reunion. Okay, this is how it's showing up in your reality. Again, light codes coming in. You are needing to spend a lot of time in meditation, a lot of time clearing to help you align with source. Whatever you do, try to make peace with source if you haven't, because yeah, this surrender is all about letting God lead you to your destiny rather than trying to force things or create things that you want that may not be right for you. And the new spiritual abilities that are coming in are going to help you know what you need to do for your particular union. How to transform this energy? You're in your old patterns but can't see it. So old patterns are coming out. When I asked what the old patterns were, I got, when I look into your eyes, I see the universe and it activates me. So I would say they're just trying to tell us that there's a multitude of patterns. Each of us is an individual. So your pattern is going to be individual to your personality and your journey. But just know that we're being activated to clear those old patterns and make way for this new energy. Okay, the masculine energy. The masculine energy had two cards come out together and they both needed to be considered. So the first card is past life, present power, the many spiritual faces of you. Okay, so there's a lot of past life healing happening. The divine masculine are remembering past lives. They're either getting visions or they're having their inner knowing come through or they're having dreams come through that are showing them information about past lives. Some of the past lives that they're getting may even have to do with Egypt itself and being priests and priestesses in Egypt or even Atlantis. But with this card, there's a lot of your skills and abilities are returning. So as the masculine awakens to these aspects of themselves, they are integrating their skills. Now, if you're feminine, then not only is your twin going through this, but the reason that you are getting your new skills and abilities is because your divine masculine is waking up to the truth of who they are and is starting to accept their inner power and their spiritual gifts. And that's the way that twins are always working together. So skills are returning. And this is what needs to happen now so we can all go into service, because something is coming. Let me just say that something is brewing in the energy. You know, all this light is coming in, but what happens when we get all these light influxes is there's often like something negative that follows it, because there's some kind of counter, because we're living in a duality. So there's like some kind of counter of darkness, and we need to be prepared, and we need to be able to help people start to go through these portals. And so we need to return to these ancient gifts. So there's a lot of karmic healing. In order to receive these gifts, we have to clear some past life karma. So the things that have been blocks are coming up now. If you're someone that's aware of your past lives, then you're probably seeing this. Personally, I've been doing a lot of past life work in the last 6 weeks. Well, you know, like past life work is my specialty. So, you know, I do a lot of it, but it's been intense the last month, as we are breaking down these barriers and these blocks. Has a lot to do with persecution energy. If you haven't cleared persecution, then it's hard to open up your gifts, because you have subconscious fears of persecution again. Some of you were persecuted more than others. You know, some people haven't had that many lifetimes here on earth, so they haven't had to go through the persecution. Like me personally, I've had over 500 lives on earth, so I have suffered a lot of persecution. And that's been a very heavy energy. And yeah, I suspect many of you are going through that. And the persecution energy and the inner child energy, they go along with each other. They're very similar to each other, because the inner child may have felt persecuted by their family, for instance. So those are big themes right now that are coming up. Also with this, karmic people could be coming or going in your life. And again, just surrender to whatever that is. Sometimes people have to leave because they're no longer in the vibrational match for you. And so no matter how hard you try to hold a relationship together, if the frequencies aren't matching, it's going to fall apart, and there's nothing that you can do. You never know, something could shift at a later date, and you might be more in an aligned vibrational frequency. But right now, you just have to surrender and accept what is happening with relationships. And if you're feeling very alone right now, that's because you're needing to put in the inner work. You're needing to focus on yourself. And so a lot of people are just going within. So there's not a lot of connection and communication necessarily between people. In order for you to claim these gifts and abilities, what needs to be worked through is you may have to reframe ideas that you have about yourself. And so that means that you have to let go, perhaps, of who you thought you were, or you have to accept your own power. So one of the things that could come up is you always thought that you were going to do this. I don't know, maybe have some 3D job. And now suddenly these gifts are opening up, and you're being called to follow a new path and maybe be a spiritual healer, for example. And that may be very confronting about who you are. These are cards for the masculine. So a lot of what the masculine twin is going through is coming to terms with who they thought they were and what they thought their life was going to be, and where they are feeling God calling them to do something different. Or they have beliefs about themselves or beliefs about society and the way society should be. This is going to have to do with, like, often their inner principles or their inner moral capacity may be challenged. For all of us, for us on a collective, you know, we all have ideas of what the world should look like, and we're all very polarized on that. And when you start to come into this chariot energy and this tantra balanced energy, you have to let go of your beliefs about the political realm, for instance. Okay, so there's so many political points of view happening around specific subjects, and the negativity and the hatred wants us to get bogged down in the hatred so that we don't come into separation. But this energy is saying, despite, you know, all these people having all these different views, and some of those views are very challenging and confronting to you personally, you have to say, no, I'm going to go into the bigger picture. But that may be meaning that you have to let go a little bit of something that you really believed in order to come to a middle ground, in order for you to learn that the way through the negative energy is by compromising with each other, not being so staunchly connected to our beliefs that we can't hear anything. And that has to do with our walls. And then, yeah, accepting your own inner power. You may not believe that you came in here with the skills that are starting to show up. Or you may not believe that, you know, maybe you're being guided to start a YouTube channel like I was 10 years ago, and I was like, oh, hell no, I'm not doing that. But here I am. And so that was just a process of confronting beliefs about who I was in order to take the steps to do that. And I know some of you are starting YouTube channels and things like that. So well done and congratulations. The second card here for the masculine is the Dark Mysteries. Enter the chamber of the dark goddess. Okay, so this is shadow work, guys. There are a lot of tests going on. I feel like if you're the masculine polarity of the twin, then you are facing very intense tests and challenges, and life is likely to feel very confronting for you right now. But the fact of the matter is, everybody is going into the dark mysteries within their own inner masculine, and that is testing everybody, as well as, like, you know, taking the next steps to your journey. That's going to be very confronting. But again, we have to release parts of our shadow so that we can clear old ways of being and find our new path. The new path is about living in your truth, and that is true freedom. And even though it's very hard right now, when you step into that freedom, you're going to feel great. Your life is going to get so much better. So again, trust and faith. This card, the Dark Mysteries, also has to do with power issues. Whether it's your personal power, spiritual power, or your power in relation to other people. So some of the tests that are happening are going to do with one of those three things: your personal power, spiritual power, or an imbalanced relationship. When it comes to your personal power and your spiritual power, you're needing to surrender that power to divine will and just learn to flow with life. What may feel uncomfortable regarding the dark mysteries is that you're likely having to confront some really core wounds like abandonment, grief, failure. So a lot of what ifs are going to come up. What if I do that? What will happen? What if I do that? Or maybe what if I don't do that? What will happen? And you're really having to follow your heart because, as I said, you're not going to see the whole picture right now, because part of the test that we're going through is whether we can have faith and trust enough to carry us through into the darkness. And lastly, you're going to have to delve into your feelings, because in order for you to find your inner truth and your power, that is going to come from your emotions, not your mind. And for the masculine, that might be very confronting because they aren't necessarily used to working with their emotions, allowing their emotions. Okay, so the masculine's focused right now. I wish I could say what I really feel. Someday I will, but right now I'm afraid to be myself. Okay, so the masculine is still working on taking off the mask and being who they really are. And again, I'm going to say that this is the masculine in all of us. There's some aspect of your masculine that has been so overprotective that it hasn't wanted to be in your truth because there's something scary. There's a vulnerability that comes from being in your truth. And that's being confronted for everybody right now. But I do want to say, again, reiterate that communication is a big part of what is healing for twins. And this willingness to be vulnerable with each other is so key. But remember, it goes back to the feminine creating the safe space for the masculine. So think about that from inside. Inside of you, your feminine has to have the love to make your masculine feel safe to trust again. How this is showing up. Being mirrors for each other makes self-love so important. I wish I was there to love you, but if I'm not, I want you to love and nurture yourself. Yeah, so the masculine energy really needs self-love right now because the masculine energy is being so tested that you need to balance that with self-love and compassion. Really spend time focusing on things that make you feel at peace, things that raise your vibration, whatever that is for you. But be gentle on yourself. And one of the wounds of the masculine is being very self-critical, very judgmental of the self. Always wanting to take care of everybody else and not taking care of themselves. So the masculine twin is being forced to do that now. The other card that came up about how this is showing up in their life is our energy is stagnant. Triggers sometime happen to break the stagnancy and help the energy flow again. So the masculine is dealing with triggers because there has been stagnancy around the masculine. And the masculine energy is only getting broken down through these triggers. So again, just surrender to what that is and know that that is part of the shadow side that is being triggered. How to transform this energy? I care about you even when I act like I don't. I'm hiding my true feelings because I feel vulnerable. This came out with our destiny is calling. Preparations are underway to take the next step. So again, communication is healing. The masculine is afraid to openly communicate because they're still afraid of vulnerability. But they're telling you that they feel and understand that destiny is calling them forward. And they are preparing to take the next step on their journey. So just trust that if you're the feminine, your masculine is working with you and doing everything that they need to in order for their own spiritual growth. What your twin wants you to know. The universe brought us together for a reason. I'm discovering what these reasons are. Yeah, because as the masculine awakens and they are getting the inner guidance, they are getting to know more about you and your connection and what it means. My heart is opening to love and guiding me back to you. I'm not happy. Karma, whether a behavior, person, or situation, is playing a role in what's happening with me, and it's hard for me to see a way out. However, I'm looking for a way out of this situation so I can be free. I'm realizing this connection is something special and worth treasuring. Goes along with the first card. So they're definitely recognizing that there's something special about this connection. Please don't give up on me. I'm trying to change, but it takes time. So you got to have patience with the masculine right now. Okay, what does Spirit want us to know about the future? What guidance is there for what is coming up, or how to align more with us? First card is magic and ritual, crafting sacred practice. Okay, so the first thing that's coming through here is Spirit is saying that you need to take time to grow spiritually. You have to put time aside. This is going to happen through practice. So this is about your spiritual gifts and aligning with the next step of your spiritual journey. You need to go within in order to understand what these gifts are. What I'm hearing is practice, practice, practice. And you're only going to practice if you set up, I'm going to use the word ritual, but ritual is probably a bit severe for what I'm referring to. But what I mean is you have time scheduled every day in which you're going to meditate, you're going to connect with Spirit, and you're going to practice your new spiritual gifts. This is very important. Set up a routine. That's what I mean to say. Create a routine and stick to it. That is going to ensure your spiritual growth. Okay, the second card is the Knot of Isis, energetic stabilization with the buckle of the beloved. Actually, I'm going to read the first section of this card. Each initiate has their own unique spiritual blueprint with particular skills, talents, and higher destinies unfolding that use their unique attributes. Part of your spiritual blueprint is a special relationship to the energies of the goddess. This means that not only do you have the important spiritual task of helping her thrive in this world, but you are afforded her power, protection, and abundance too. You are now deepening your connection to her. So there's this twining with the divine feminine energy. This goes back to this card where I was saying that the soul is merging more into the body. This is the same type of energy that comes with this Knot of Isis. And it's telling us specifically that it has to do with the divine feminine. So maybe divine feminine aspects of your soul are trying to merge with you so that you can embody more of the divine feminine. This is because the masculine has healed enough that it feels safe now letting more of the divine feminine through. Previously, the masculine was blocking the divine feminine because it wasn't that it didn't want the divine feminine energy, but the masculine was trying to protect the divine feminine energy. And because of all these past lives, when the feminine energy was trying to come out and express itself, the masculine kept saying, no, don't do that. No, that's not safe. No, you're going to get killed. no, you're going to get persecuted. Don't do that. And it was subconscious blocks. But because the masculine is healed and feeling safer, it's allowing this inner transformation to take place. So the focus is going to be on loving your inner feminine energy, loving your body, which is very much connected to the feminine, loving the earth, which is connected to the feminine, and embracing your commitment to service. So everything that you're going through right now is having the effect of allowing the divine feminine to become stronger and more integrated within your consciousness. Again, that goes with this, because the feminine is the intuitive side of you. So it's through your intuitive side that you're able to understand the perceptions of the different levels of consciousness. I hope I'm saying that in a way that's understandable. But the knot of Isis can help bring the body and the soul together and help you integrate these higher level vibrational frequencies that are coming into your physical body and your physical reality. So I'm going to read a little bit more of what this says. The knot or buckle of Isis protects, guides, and stabilizes your energy field whilst it is in transition from one state to another. It is especially useful for spiritual growth with the feminine energies because these are intimately related to the body and the relationship between the soul and the body, creating light within the body. Connecting soul and body has one conscious, harmonious, illuminated being. The knot of Isis is like a container that holds you together, whilst inside, in a gentle way, you fall apart enough that you can be reorganized, restructured, and reformed within the sacred container of the sacred knot. Once you are stable in your new soul structure, the knot is no longer needed until the next transition point in your relationship between your body and the growing light and your soul as they become more fully united as one. You may call on the Knight of Isis as a symbol that you visualize or an energetic support structure that you may not perceive directly but will feel in effect. A sense of being held safe and firm in the perfect degree. And it's almost like that's the masculine energy. Because the masculine energy, you can use that as the container to make your feminine feel safe and secure so that she can express herself. Because you are integrating high-level vibrational energies, rest and meditation, ocean swims, and time in nature, as well as working with pyramids of light and crystal, can assist with this soul-twining process now too. Listen to your body as it grows with divine feminine wisdom and trust that she will guide you, whether man or woman, deep into your own healing, which benefits us all. This oracle comes as clear confirmation that you are integrating high-level vibrational energy. If you have been wondering if your dreams, intuition, goddess-related meditations, and communications are genuine, then this oracle serves as your confirmation. If you pulled the Lady of the Stars card along with this oracle, the Knot of Isis, the high vibrational energy that you are accessing has a celestial quality of a highly advanced spiritual civilization as well. It will have a stellar, non-human quality that is loving, wise, and free of fear. Okay, and the last card for our future guidance is High Priestess. Mysteries revealed in the eyes of Isis. Okay, so you are becoming the High Priestess. Or if you're a male, you are becoming the High Priest. This is where this energy is leading you. This energy only reaches its full fulfillment when you are in perfect harmonious balance with your inner feminine and masculine energy. So this is so important, such a powerful shift that we are in. And the next 2 years are going to be full of huge developments, but not without challenges. And so it's very important for you to really work towards embodying this high priest, high priestess energy, which all of these cards are telling you about, right? Taking in the light, learning to move through the different levels of consciousness, healing your past lives, doing your shadow work, taking time to heal yourself and to honor yourself, and trusting in the process. I was going to say the feminine, but we need to trust in both our masculine and feminine, right? That, as I just said, that's the only way to balance. So I don't want to make it seem that one is taking precedent over the other. They have to work in balance. And that's how you have to work in your twin flame union. You have to see each other as equals and in balance. As you're probably aware, when that isn't the case, then it creates difficulties in communicating and in coming together. This High Priestess card is also letting us know once again that everything that is unfolding is part of destiny. You are following your divine destiny. So even though you cannot see everything, and let me tell you, even though you're psychic, you are not going to know every detail about everything that's happening, because the key of this whole thing, besides this balance, is trust and faith. And if you knew everything ahead of time, you wouldn't have an issue with trust and faith. So you're not being shown everything. Another reason why Spirit is doing that is because sometimes if we know too much, we just keep getting in our own way. So we just live in the moment and take things step by step. Now that said, you are going to be getting insight and realizations about your journey because your consciousness is expanding. But yeah, you just won't know the full information or the full story about all that you're becoming and all that you're going to be doing and all that is unfolding. As I said, there are things unfolding in the world, and light workers and twin flames need to be prepared to hold the light and to hold the higher levels of consciousness and help others through these portals. So this is very important work that we're doing now for the earth and for humanity. Yeah, they're saying watch for signs. Signs will guide you, even though you may not know the full detail. You know, there'll be signs, and you'll have to trust those signs and follow them. Just know that all is well, and all will be revealed in divine timing. Last card, the song. Song message about the future is The Secret Marriage by Sting. No earthly church has ever blessed our union. No state has ever granted us permission. No family bond has ever made us two. No company has ever earned commission. No debt was paid, no dowry to be gained. No treaty over borderland or power. No semblance of the world outside remained to stain the beauty of this nuptial hour. The secret marriage vow is never spoken. The secret marriage never can be broken. Okay, that is a clue about the shifts for twin flames and what is coming. The secret marriage is this balance of the masculine and feminine, and it will attract your sacred partner to you. But the lyrics here are saying that there's nothing materialistic about this, right? No church needs to bless us. There's nothing to be gained. There was no power accumulated, lands accumulated through the connection between you and your twin. It is simply God ordained beyond the material realm, because those things mean nothing to this connection. And it's there. It doesn't need to be spoken about, but it is eternal and it can never be broken. So I have some other videos coming up in the works. Another video that I'm preparing to talk about the changes for twins, some SRT2, and some things I'm planning for SRT for February. If you want to know more about me or how you can work with me through readings or sessions or clearings, I will put my link below. Thanks everybody for watching. Sending you so much love. Happy Valentine's Day to everyone, and I'll speak to you soon.